Good morning. Um, Today's poet is Sidney Lanier, born 1842, died 1881, I guess when he was only 39. That is such a short life. Sidney Lanier was born in Macon, Georgia, and educated at Oglethorpe College. In 1861, he enlisted in the Confederate Army, and in 1864, he was captured by the Union forces and imprisoned for 4 months at Point Lookout, Maryland, where he probably contracted the tuberculosis from which he later died. Um, After the war, Lanier played in the Peabody Symphony as a flutist, and in 1879 became a lecturer in literature at Johns Hopkins University. In addition to poetry, he wrote novels, including Tiger Lilies in 1867, which documents his war experience and critical studies, including the science of English verse, in 1880, in which he argues that the same laws govern music and poetry. So that was why I chose him today, because when I read that he wrote that thing about the same laws governing English, poetry and music, it sounded good to me. I think, I guess you could say it's true, although the laws that I look to in poetry are a little different than your conventional poetic devices. Like, I'm aware of the poetic devices and I use the poetic devices, but I don't think that they're as important as something like truth. I think that it being true is one thing that makes poems poetry, but also it's something that makes music music. So, here's his poem, Sidney Lanier, From the Flats. And it was written in Tampa, Florida, even though Lanier was from Georgia. What heartache! Ne'er a hill, inexorable, vapid, vague, and chill. The drear sand levels drain my spirit low, and one poor word they tell me all they know. Whereat their stupid tongues, to tease my pain, do drawl it o'er again and o'er again. They hurt my heart with gifts I cannot name, always the same, the same. Nature hath no surprise, no embrushade of beauty 'gainst mine eyes. From brake or luring dell or deep defile, no humors frolic form the smile that mile. No rich reserves or happy valley hopes beyond the bends of roads, the distant slopes. Her fancy fails, her wild is all run tame, ever the same, the same. Oh, might I through these tears but glimpse some hill my Georgia high up rears. But white the quartz and pink the pebble shine. The hickory heavenward strives of Muscadine, swings o'er the slopes, Muscadine, swings o'er the slopes, the oak, far falling shade, darkens the dogwood, in their bottom glade, and down the hollow from ferny nook bright leaps a living brook. I like that, a poem about Florida that kind of comes back and says, "Oh, but Georgia, a glimpse of my hills in Georgia." That was good. And I like the poem. The Marshes of Glynn, and Glynn refers to Glynn County, Georgia. Glooms of live oaks, beautiful, braided and woven, with intricate shades of the vines that myriad cloven, clamber and fork of the multiform boughs, emerald twilights, virginal skylights, shylights, wrought of the leaves that allure to the whisper of vows, when lovers pace timidly down through the green colonnades of the dim, sweet woods, of the dear, dark woods, of the heavenly woods and glades that run the radiant marginal sand beach within the wide sea marshes of Glynn. Beautiful glooms, soft dusk in the noonday fire, wildwood privacies, closets of lone desire, chamber from chamber parted with wavering auras of leaves, cells for the pure, passionate pleasure of prayer to the soul that grieves. Pure with the sense of passing of saints through the wood, cool for the dutiful weighing of ill with good. O braided dusk of the oak and woven shades of the vine, while the riotous noonday sun of June long did shine, ye held me fast in your heart, and I held you fast in mine. But now, when the noon is no more, and riot is rest, and sun is wait at the ponderous gate of the west, and the slant yellow beam down the wood aisle doth seem like a lane into heaven that leads from a dream. I now, when my soul all day hath drunken the soul of the oak, and my heart is as ease from men as the wearisome sound of the stroke. Oh, the scythe of time and the trowel of trade is low, and believe overmaster doubt, and all I know that I know, and my spirit is grown in the lordly great compass within, that the length and the breadth and the sweep of the marshes of Glynn. We me will work me no fear like the fear they have wrought me ever, when length and fatigue and breadth was but bitterness sore, and when terror and shrinking and dreary unnameable pain drew over me the merciless miles of the plain. Oh no, unafraid I am fain to face the vast, sweet message of space. To the edge of the wool I am drawn where the grey breach glimmering runs as a belt of the dawn. For a meat and a mark to the forest dark, so affable, lively oak, leaning low, thus with your favor soft with reverent hand, no lightly touching your person, lord of the land, bending your beauty aside with a step, I stand on the firm packed sand, free by a world of marsh that borders, a world of sea, sinuous southward and sinuous northward, the shimmering band of the sand beach fastens the fringes of the marsh to the fold of the land. Inward and outward, to northward and southward, and beachline linger and curl, as a silver wrought garment that clings to and follows the firm, sweet limbs of a girl, vanishing, swerving, evermore curving again into sight. Softly the sand beach wavers away to a dim gray looping of light. And what if behind me westward the wall of the wood stands high? The world lies east, how ample the marsh and the sea and the sky. The league, and a league of marsh grass, high, waist high, broad in the blade, green and all of the height, and unfeckled with the light or a shade, stretch leisurely off in a pleasant plain to the terminal blue of the main. Oh, what is abroad in the marsh and the terminal sea? Somehow my soul seems suddenly free from the waiting fate and the sad discussion of sin by the length of the breadth and sweep of the marshes of Glen. Ye marshes, how candid and simple and nothing withholding and free. Yea, publish yourselves to the sky and offer yourselves to the sea, tolerant plans that suffer the sea and the rains of the sun, yea, spread and span like the Catholic men who hath mightily won God out of knowledge, and good out of infinite pain, and sight out of blindness, and purity out of a stain. As the marsh hen secretly builds on the watery sod, behold, I build me a nest on the greatness of God. I will fly in the greatness of God, and the marsh hen flies as the marsh hen flies, in the freedom that fills all the space twixt the marsh and the skies, by so many roots, as the marsh grass sends in the sod, I will here heartily lay me a hold of the greatness of God. Oh, like the greatness of God is the greatness within, a range of the marshes, the liberal marshes of Glen, and the sea lends large as the marsh, lo, out of his plenty the sea pours fast, full soon, the time of the flood tide must be. Look how the grace of the sea doth go about and about through the intricate channels that flow, here and there everywhere, till his waters have flooded the utmost creek and the low-lying lanes, and the marshes meshed with the million veins, and like as with rosy and silvery essences flow, in the rose and silvery evening glow. Farewell, my lord sun, the creek overflow. The creeks overflow, 1,000 rivulets run. Twixt the root of the sod, the blade of the marsh grass stir, passeth, and hurrying sound of wings and westward whir, passeth, and all is still, and the currents cease to run, and the sea and the marsh are one. How still the plains and the waters be! The tide is in its ecstasy. The tide is in the highest height, and it is night. And now from the vast of the Lord will the waters of sleep roll in the souls of men. But who will reveal to our wakening ken the forms that swim and the shapes that creep under the waters of sleep? And I could, I know, that swimmeth below when the tide comes in on the length and breadth of the marvelous marshes of Glen. And I love that poem. It's long, but it's beautiful, and all I have to say about it is that it really is very song-like. Definitely like a song in how it is read and how it reads, and so definitely musical. So he was really practicing what he preached. Okay, see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.